In this tutorial, we will have a look how we can create this moving platform and we can jump on it as well as we can jump off it. And we just sticking with the moving platform as you can see. And before I jump into the coding part, I want to thanks BB Hutch for donating me on platform. And if you guys wish to, then I have a link in the description of my Patreon page. You can go ahead and check that out, and you can take membership. And with membership, lot of benefits comes. So you can just check that out. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this topic. If we jump over to this moving platform, we're not gonna stick with it as you can see. So once we land on top of that, we just want to go with it. So to do so, let's create a script. Before I jump into, let me explain what I have done. So if I select this moving platform, go over to inspector, I have attached a shuriken script. You can say it's just moving our this platform left and right, or basically between these 2 points I specified, and also attach a box collider for collision detection. So let's get out of play mode and let's open up our player script to just want to stick with that moving platform when we are moving. Let's get into the script. So I'm going to select the player game object in from hierarchy. Let's go over to inspector, scroll down and double click the player script to open it up in Visual Studio. Or what else you can do, you can create a separate script as well by just going over down, click on add component, new script, name the script what you want and create and add in the bottom. So I'm gonna go with player script. So let's select that and double click that to open it up in Visual Studio. So I'm gonna do in the bottom somewhere around here. You can do anywhere you want. Before I do that, so I have to make sure if I use that function already or not. As you can see, I don't have. Basically what function we want to use for to stick with that platform is that collision function. So once we collide with this ground, we want to check, and we assign it this platform, sorry, this is a platform, moving platform, and I assigned it this moving platform as a ground tag, as you can see in inspector. So once we collide with this ground, we just want to stick with it, and once we are out or not, we just jump off it. Then we have to stop moving. We need to stop because we not are not in the moving platform at all. So that is the thing. So let's get into the script part, and for that we will use this on collision enter 2D function, sorry, on collision enter 2D function. And we definitely know that this function over here is a unity inbuilt function, and this function get called when we collide with something. And we do know when we collide with something, this function get called, and we can extract info by this collision parameter. Whatever we collided with, we can extract info of the game object, like name, tag, whatever we can. So when we collide, this function get called. So if we collide with this moving platform, then that function just gonna trigger or just gonna call right away. So let's go to script. And so once whatever we collide, we're gonna check right over here. So if collision, sorry, collision dot game object dot tag, and we're gonna check if it's equals to ground and make this curly bracket. So basically we taking this collision parameter, and by this collision parameter we going to that game object, basically whatever we colliding with, and then accessing the tag as you can see dot tag, and we checking if that tag is if it's equals to ground. Basically if we collide with this moving ground, so we moving over to this moving platform, sorry, moving platform. If we collide with this moving platform, then we going over to this moving platform game object, and then going over to and by that we accessing the tag. And we definitely know we assigned this moving platform as a moving platform ground tag, as you can see right over here we assign it. So we definitely gonna collide with that. So if we collide with that, what we will do, so I'm gonna put it this curly brackets right over here to fit it correctly. So over here we're gonna do this dot transform dot parent. Basically this dot transform dot parent we will set equal to that game object parent. So we will go over to collision dot game object dot transform and close that up with semicolon. So this dot transform over here basically means if we just moving over to this player game object and accessing this transform, and we setting this transform or this game object parent or this player game object parent to this moving platform parent. So so this player game object just gonna be parent of this moving platform, and we do know. And once we make this basically we just making our player game object child of this our moving platform game object. Now if we move this game object or this moving platform anywhere in the scene view, our player game object just gonna go with it. So basically that is the thing. So we just moving over to this player game object transform, and then we setting the parent equal to this moving platform game object. Basically this moving platform gonna be parent right now once we collide with this moving platform. So let's have a look. Control S to save your code. Let's go to Unity, and we need make sure you just save your scope save your script and hit this plus button in the top, not plus button, hit this play button in the top and have a look on that. We just making our player game object child of this our moving platform. Basically this dot parent or this dot transform dot parent over here means player game object, and we setting the parent of this player equal to this collision dot game object means this moving platform. So let's click on this play button and take a look on that. We have enemy in the left side and we have hearts as well. This project gonna be available on my Patreon page. You can go ahead and check this out. So let's have a look. So if I just jump off to the parent, as you can see, indeed we are moving with our moving platform, but when we are get out, we can see we are not moving, but we're not playing our animation at all, as you can see, because we need to do some setting. But it's fine, as you can see. It's fine. We are moving with this platform. But if you just write over here something like that, if you over here and is you still moving, then what you have to do in that moment, so let's get out of play mode. So you need to use on collision exit function. So you can just go to bottom something right over here, or you can do anywhere you want. So use this on collision exit 2D function, and this function get called when we exit out our collision. Let's suppose we just jump off this ground, from this ground. So we're gonna, so that function just gonna call right away because we just exiting our collision, as you can see, or we just leaving our this ground, or not colliding, we just leaving the collider. So that's why that function just gonna call, and we can extract info as like over here. So you can just take it over here. Then what you can do, you can say this dot transform dot parent equal to null. Basically you can set this dot transform this dot transform dot parent equal to null. Basically when we leaving our collider, we're setting our player game object parent to null, basically empty. We're not gonna make our player game object to any game, basically child of any game object. So when we are leaving this collider or this moving platform, then we don't want this moving platform to be parent of our player game object. So that's why we just moving over to transform our player game object, and then accessing the parent, basically just make parent, and we setting parent equal to null, basically empty, when we leaving our collider. So this function get called when we collide with something. So before you do that, check right over here. So we need to check if So we will check if collision dot game object dot tag if it's equals to crown, and make this curly brackets and just put this line of code in between those curly brackets, and control S to save your code and move to Unity to see that. Let's save it and let's go to Unity. So when we are leaving any collider, that on collision exit to the function just gonna call out right away, because that function call when we leave collider or we exit out any collider. So and when we exit out any collider, we just setting our this player game object parent to null. And so let's click on this play button in the top, and we have some environments, and you can place as well diamonds to your game to make even more cool and juicy. It's pretty fun to play. Of course, I will have the game in the description. So when we leave the collider, as you can see, indeed we are, uh, you can say we just leaving our collider and we not moving at all when we are leaving this moving platform.